G'day viewers and welcome to Heavenly Tai Chi and Yoga. My name is Todd and this is your 20-minute yoga flow to rock your core. So let's get to it. So we're sitting in Sukhasana or easy posture. A couple of points before we move forward. One, if your knees are rising up and feels uncomfortable, place a couple of cushions underneath either of the knees. That'll help relax any stress or tension. Alternatively, you can sit on a cushion, which will raise your hips up, take any pressure off the knees. Or if you don't require any of that, then remove the fleshy part of your buttocks away so you're sitting on your sit bone. That'll give us a nice long spine. You have a nice long spine, then you'll be able to see your core in more detail. We'll get into more of that in a moment. But first, let's start with a Sankalpa, which is a dedication. So let's close our eyes. And in our mind's eye, let's bring someone we know that needs a bit of extra love, support and energy, and let's send that to them now. And let's slowly open the eyes. Now we're going to go into our mobility series. So let's open the palms. Let's draw the palms towards the heart center, back of the hands touching, and then we rotate all the way out, back out to the front. Now just continue that motion, reversing the motion, drawing in and extending out. And you can go a little bit wider with the circle as well. Just don't take yourself out when you're coming back in, okay? We do like to have a bit of fun in the class, so don't take anything too seriously. Just enjoy yourself. And now let's release the hands. Let's relax the wrist there, give them a nice little shake. Let's extend the left hand out in front. Let's take the right hand on the top of the left fingers and we'll gently draw them back towards the shoulder. Get a nice stretch just underneath the ridge. And then release that. We'll change over to the opposite side. Let's take the left hand atop of the right fingers, drawing that right fingers back. We get a nice stretch just underneath the wrist there. Now that's a great little exercise. A lot of people working on computers or writing for long periods of time, that'll help release any tension in the wrist. So now we're going to do some shoulder circles. So within our shoulder circles, we're drawing the shoulders back and down. Now, in our class today, we're working on the six-pack. Most people know it as the six-pack. It's rectus abdominis, and then we've got the deeper transverse abdominis, and then we've got the obliques, the external obliques on the side. So they're the muscles that primarily we're working on today, but as we all know, no muscle operates as an island. So when you're doing these shoulder girdles, not only are you working on lengthening the spine, which is going to make your six-pack easier to see. Now, isn't that we want? So we want to lengthen the shoulder girdle. So you'll hear me talk about a lot in the class about a long spine. It's one of the reasons why in Sukhasana I ask people to get a nice seated position to encourage that long spine. Now, as we're working these shoulder circles here, we want to work the muscles supporting the spine. So specifically, we're looking at the rectus spinae where the muscles either side of the spine, also some deeper muscles in there, quadratus laborum. So those muscles will strengthen, and what that'll do, that'll also lengthen the spine. So if you've got some back issues as well, then that will help to lengthen the spine. That is a key principle to improve your back. So now let's go to some neck circles. So let's start clockwise to start, nice and easy. Eyes open, eyes closed, whatever's comfortable for you. And then reverse the direction. And come back to the center line. Now we're going to go into our first mobility posture, which has got some core work in as well. It's the cat-cow posture. I want to make sure you got your fingers are nice and spread when you place them down onto the mat. So that your fingers are placed and spread nice and well spread onto the mat. Couple of alignment points here. Make sure the shoulders are stacked over your wrists. Your hips are stacked over your knees. Your knees are parallel with your ankles. Your feet aren't turned in. And your knees are in line with your wrists. So, you'll be able to judge where you are. If you don't have a mirror, it's difficult to judge sometimes. But you'll get a feeling for when your shoulder is stacked over your wrist. You'll know if you're there or thereabouts, because it feels centered, right? Feels centered, right? And that's part of getting awareness of your body and knowing what is working and what's not working in terms of your feelings about your particular muscle groups. So for the cat-cow posture, on the inhale, we're going to draw the belly in. It's going to draw the core in. And then we're going to extend the shoulder girdle up into what we call the cobra hood. And then we exhale, release. We lengthen the tailbone and we lift the head. So I've got this spinal mobility. Let's reverse that. Starting again, extend the shoulder girdle. Draw the belly in and then release. Lengthen the tailbone. And we'll do this one more time. Inhale, draw the belly in. And then exhale, lifting the head, lengthen the tailbone. Now we're going to draw the toes together. We're going to sit back into child's pose or Balasana. Let's release the wrists and wriggle the fingers. Sometimes we hold a lot of tension in our wrists, especially a lot of these postures sometimes are on our wrists for a good period of time. So as we work our way into the practice, it's good to take little breaks in between just to assess where you are and whether you're ready to go. Okay, let's take our hands back up to our 4-point base. And here we're going to extend the right leg back. Let's get some good length, nice and long, pressing the heel out. 4 foot's on the ground here. And then we extend the left leg out. So we're in high plank or Phalakasana. So from here, we're going to make sure we lengthen the waist. So head is lengthen, heels are lengthened. A nice line of energy. We're activating the core, activate the glutes in our high plank. We're going to be here for about 5 breaths. We're not going to challenge the world record today at 24 hours, I think it is. So nice inhale and exhale through the nose. Come to find a place of balance, a place of acceptance. Yes, the posture is challenging, I know. And if your body starts to shake, that means you're working. And then slowly take your knees down. Let's sit back and do our child's pose or Balasana. Now, if this posture is challenging for you, you can place a rolled up mat or a cushion or even a rolled up blanket just on the top of your heels here. Make your hips sink down a little bit more. Let's take the palms up and wriggle the fingers, rotate the wrists as we move into the next part of our sequence. So we're slowly building in the class. So we've just done our Phalakasana, which is a high plank. Now we're going to high plank and then into side plank. A little bit more challenging. But we want the 6-pack, don't we? Yes, we do. Let's extend the right leg back. Let's extend the left leg, coming to our high plank. Let's shift over onto our right foot, left foot on top. Now let's take our left hand up to the sky as we come into our side plank. Let's find that balance and the alignment with the right shoulder over the right wrist. Extend the left hand nice and long. Fingers spread nice and wide. The left hand reaching for the sky. You're working the core here, working the obliques, extending into the mat. And then we'll slowly take that hand down and shifting over back into our high plank. Let's hold here for another 5 breaths. Yes, we're doing the work. I love it. Keep doing the work. As they say, if you build it, you can do it. And let's take the knees down, back into our child's pose. Let's release there for a moment. Relax the wrists. Release the fingers. Breathing in and out through the nose. Taking the time now to center yourself. You know, when we're working challenging postures, and naturally the heartbeat's going to be raised for a few moments until we find the balance within the posture. And then the heartbeat will settle down, and then we'll find a place of calm and peace. So now we're going to shift over to the opposite side. Coming back into our child's pose, extend the hands out to the front, extended child's pose. And then we're going to come up to plank. Extend the right leg back, extend the left back in, wrap the shoulders in. Make sure the fingers are well connected to the mat. Find your point of balance here. We're going to hold here 5 more breaths. And then slowly take the knees down to the mat. All with control. When we transition any time, it's always with control and awareness. We never just slump down. We're always controlling the descent or the ascent of our movements all the time. With that awareness is the breath is connected to the movement. That's when the practice itself becomes more meditative rather than just a physical practice. Yes, we're doing physical movements, but we're integrating the breath within the movement, then it transitions to something more spiritual, you might say, but more peaceful, more relaxing. We can find the peace and the challenge in anything. Let's extend the right leg back. Let's come back up into our Phalakasana or high plank. Let's lengthen this, hold for a couple of breaths here. Hold the pose, don't hold your breath. And then we're going to slowly shift over into side plank. So let's shift over the knife edge of the left foot, right foot on top, and let's extend that right hand up to the sky. Lengthen up to the sky. Yes, it's challenging, I know. Really extend through the shoulder here, work on the obliques, work in the core, draw the belly in. And we'll slowly take that right hand down, place it down onto the mat, shift back over to our high plank. Steady the breath here. We'll be here for 5 breaths. Find that space of acceptance. Find that place of peace. And we'll slowly take the knees down to the mat. Let's extend back in the child's pose here. Let's release the wrists. Release the fingers. Now we'll come back into our Sukhasana or easy posture. We're going to go into Bharardvajasana, which is a seated twist. Not only is this posture great for digestion, but it's working the core as well. It's working the external obliques, rectus abdominis, the 6-pack as we know it. And we're going to work a nice long spine as well. So the nice long spine is going to help to expose that 6-pack even more. Isn't that what we all want? Beautiful 6-pack. You've got to dial in your nutrition though, but you're doing part of the work right now. So, Bharardvajasana, preparatory pose. Take our left hand onto our right knee. We extend our right hand up to the sky. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, place the right hand behind you. Come up onto your finger pads. Make sure there's a nice line here. What do I mean by that? Let me come to the side and show you. I want to say a nice line from your shoulder pit down to your hip. Nice straight line. Nice straight line. If you can do that, excellent. Now, if you can't manage, like if you're leaning back like this, that's not what we want, right? We want a nice length through here. So grab a brick or a block or even a blanket which you can fold onto each other, which is going to raise yourself up. You could be on your palm, which is completely acceptable, right? But I want to make sure you've got that long spine. That's why I come onto the finger pads, because I'm not quite got the length here to get the palm onto the floor and feel correct within the pose, okay? So that's what we're doing. So you're seeing it side on. Now they've got that in your mindset, we can move through the pose. So extend the right hand up to the sky, left hand on the right knee. Inhale, release, place the right hand behind us. And then we inhale and then we twist to the right hand side. So working the core, working the external obliques here, looking over our right shoulder, keeping the nice length in the spine. And then we slowly release. Should be a lovely spiraling action as you're coming back to the front. Now we're going to move over to the opposite side. This time we'll take the right hand onto the left knee. We'll extend the left hand up to the sky. We'll open the shoulder, place the left hand behind. Find that point of length here onto the finger pads, if you're with me on the finger pads. Then inhale and then exhale, release. Drawing your torso around to look over your left shoulder. Make sure the belly is drawn in here, working those external obliques. And then releasing, coming back to the center line. Now we're going to do a little modification, Bharardvajasana seated twist. Knife hand here. Where's the knife hand going? Just against the knee, right? Previously we had the hand just behind it. Now we're going to place a knife edge. That's going to give us a little bit more purchase or a little bit more traction or resistance for us to twist into the pose a little bit deeper. Now we can work the core and external obliques even more. Inhale, place the right hand behind us, exhale, then inhale, lengthen it, and then exhale, release. We're working that twist to the right hand side, looking over our right shoulder, keeping that length in the spine, drawing the belly in, working those obliques, and then slowly releasing, coming back to the center line. Should feel a lovely spiral. I always feel a lovely spiraling motion as you're releasing the tension from the twist. Now we're going to come into the opposite side. So let's take the right hand knife edge this time against the left knee. Got it? Against the left knee. Extend the left hand up to the sky. Open the shoulder. Place the left hand behind. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release. Drawing the belly in, looking over the left shoulder. Find that place of release in the posture. Yes, it's a challenging posture in itself. And then slowly coming back to the center line. Lovely, with that lovely spiraling action. Now we're going to go into Navasana, which is the boat pose. So we're going to go manage this in three steps, if you like. So we're going to lift the legs first. Then we're going to lift the torso, and then we're going to lift the legs and the torso when we come into full boat. So let's move through that motion. So we're lying down, flat onto the mat. Adjust your costume as you need to. Place the hands down onto the mat here. Let's rest the head onto the mat. And from here, we're going to be using our lower belly or our lower core muscles of the six pack. Not too much hip flexors here. We're going to be working and drawing our feet up off the floor, about 10 to so inches. And we should feel a bit of tension within the core here with our legs just up in the air. We're going to hold here for about 5 breaths. You can extend the toes straight out, or you can draw the toes towards yourself. That'll just create a different tension in the stretch. And then we'll slowly lower down. Let's open the toes out for a moment. Let's release the legs, give them a little bit of a shake. Release any tension in the lower back that might be there. And now we're going to roll the torso up. So we're going to be using the top part of our six pack here, right? And we're going to be slowly rolling up, lower back, middle back, upper back. We'll keep the legs nice and neutral here. We'll flex the toes, so we're drawing back towards our head. And we're going to slowly roll up, utilizing our core, coming up. Let's extend the hands up. Let's hold here for a moment. working the core, neutral pelvis, and then we'll slowly lower down, lower back, middle back, upper back. So now we're going to go into the full expression of Navasana, the bow pose. We're going to extend the legs up to about 30, 45 degrees in that type of range. Same with the frontal area. And also we're going to be onto our sit bones, and we're going to try and keep a nice long spine. So if your back tends to round, then try and lengthen your spine. You'll see I've got a little bit of rounding in my back, and I'm working to lengthen the spine, but hopefully we can get a lot closer each time we come onto the mat. So let's draw the feet up, and now let's bring our torso up. We'll come onto our sit bones, find that place of balance here, and then now look for the length. So look for the length from the legs, the length from the hands, and the length from your spine. Try and get a nice long spine here. If you want to draw your legs up, you can work to draw them up a little bit more. Extend the hands out more. Holding here, trying to get that length in the spine. Stop the rounding of the back, and then we'll slowly lower down. Let's lower the legs down first, and then we'll slowly roll down, curling down, lower back, middle back, upper back. Beautiful. And slowly bring the head down, release the legs. Give the legs a nice little shake. We're going to do that one more time. Yes, I know. Just one more. You can do it. I have full faith in your abilities to achieve. So let's make it happen. So let's draw the legs up. Draw the hands up. We'll come up onto our sit bone. There we go. Let's extend the hands out nice and long. Let's draw the legs up. Let's extend the spine to find that length in the spine. Breathing in and out through the nose. And then slowly lower the legs down. Slowly lower down. Lower back, middle back, upper back. Take the hands all the way down to the mat. Let's open the toes out, heels in. Let's draw the legs out as wide as the mat. We come into our final pose, Savasana, corpse pose. Let's take our hands out nice and wide. Let's slowly close our eyes. And we find that place of complete relaxation, where everything stops for a few moments, except your breathing. You can really work to feel the length of the breath here, from the tips of your toes to the top of your head. Feel that relaxation sweeping over the body like a little wave. And now tune into the music and just let yourself relax even more. Now we'll slowly start to wriggle the toes, wriggle the fingers. When you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes. Reorientate yourself into the room. Let's draw the feet together. neutral pelvis. Let's draw the right leg up, place the right foot flat onto the floor, shift our hips over to the right hand side, and then we'll roll over to our left, slightly pressing ourselves back up into our starting position, where we finish with our namaste. Namaste. There you go, viewers. I hope you enjoyed the class today. If you did, give it a like. Got any comments? Please let me know. I love interacting with the community. Now, I invite you to the 30-day challenge. Do this practice for 30 days. Dial in your nutrition, because you won't see a six-pack if your nutrition's not spot on, right? So you need to work on that also. Do it for 30 days, set yourself a little challenge and see how you go. Do let me know in the comments how you went. Now, if this is your first time here, I remind you, click the subscribe button, hit the notification so you get notified when I publish new videos. Now, if you want to improve your sleep, I've got a great yoga for bedtime video here, and also a great way to start your day, yoga to start your day. Of course, why not? So, there you go. Have an awesome rest of your day wherever you are in the world, and thanks for watching. Namaste.